We are at video number 0019, The Anatomy of Human Descent. When the mind is left uncontrolled and constantly seeks the satisfaction of sensory pleasures, it sets us on a path toward ruin. A sensory object captures our attention. The mind begins to desire it. Desire grows into attachment, and attachment turns into craving. If that craving is denied, frustration and anger arise. Anger clouds judgment. And when judgment is lost, the person forgets what is right and wrong. And this forgetfulness leads to the downfall of life itself. True spirituality begins with mastering the mind, especially the impulses of desire and anger. Imagine two skilled thieves, desire and anger, when they sneak into the home of your heart. They rob you of your most precious treasures, peace and happiness. To guard these treasures, you must remain ever watchful. The practice of self control and awareness is the key to protecting the wealth of inner joy that lies within you. A student is asking a question. You often say that the uncontrolled mind is the cause of all suffering. But I don't quite understand. How can mere thoughts or desires lead to such great harm? The Guru replies, the mind is the charioteer of your life. If it is steady and disciplined, it takes you toward peace and wisdom. But if it is wild and restless, it drives you straight into misery. In the Bhagavad Gītā, chapter number 2, verses 62 and 63, Lord Krishna reveals the chain of human downfall. A student is asking another question. Yes, please teach me this chain. The Guru replies, first, a sense object, something you see, hear, taste, touch, or smell, enters your awareness. It could be anything: a sweet sound, a delicious food, an attractive person, or even praise and power. When the mind lingers upon that object, desire arises. I want this for myself. From desire comes attachment. You begin to identify happiness with possessing that object. When attachment grows stronger, it becomes craving and inner restlessness that demands fulfillment. But life does not always serve us what we crave. And when our desires are obstructed, anger appears. Anger clouds the intellect. It blinds reason. When reason is lost, delusion takes over. You forget what is right and wrong. From delusion comes loss of memory. You forget your spiritual nature and your higher purpose. And when memory is lost, intelligence is destroyed. Your power to discriminate between dharma, which is righteousness, and adharma, which is unrighteousness, collapses. Finally, when intelligence is destroyed, the person perishes, not necessarily by death alone, but by the death of peace, happiness, and inner harmony. A student is asking another question. So, a single unguarded desire can set off this entire chain. The Guru replies, yes, indeed. Desire and anger are like twin thieves. Desire steals your peace by pulling your mind toward the future, wanting what is not yet yours. Anger steals your joy by keeping you trapped in the past, resenting what you did not get. Between these two thieves, the mind loses its balance, and a restless mind can never be happy. A student is asking another question. Then, how can one protect oneself from these thieves? Guru replies, by becoming the vigilant guardian of your own mind. Imagine your inner world as a beautiful house filled with priceless jewels, the jewels of peace, contentment, and love. Desire and anger are expert burglars, always waiting for a moment of negligence to slip in. You must stand and watch through awareness, self discipline, and spiritual practice. You must stand, watch through awareness, self discipline, and spiritual practice. When a desire arises, do not suppress it violently, but observe it calmly. Ask yourself, will this bring lasting joy or temporary excitement? If the answer is temporary, let it pass like a cloud across the sky. You are not your thoughts. You are the witness of your thoughts. The student is asking another question. But This seems so difficult. The mind is powerful and always running toward pleasures. The Guru replies, true, the mind is powerful, but it is not invincible. It becomes your master only when you forget that you are its master. Krishna says in the Gita, chapter 6, verse number 6, for one who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for one who has failed to do so, the mind is the worst enemy. Your task, therefore, is not to destroy the mind, but to train it, like training a wild horse. Feed it good thoughts, noble actions, and pure intentions. Engage it in selfless service, meditation, and remembrance of the divine. Gradually, the mind becomes your ally. Then, even in the midst of temptations, you will stand firm like a mountain, unmoved by the wind. A student is asking another question. Does that mean that pleasure itself is wrong? The Guru replies, not at all. Pleasure is not evil, but dependence on pleasure is the trap. Enjoyment becomes poisonous only when you start believing that happiness exists outside you, in objects, people, or achievements. Real joy is born within. It shines when the mind is still, when the heart is pure, when desire and anger are quiet. When you live in the world yet are not bound by it, you enjoy what comes naturally but remain free from craving and fear. This is the essence of spiritual maturity. The student is asking another question. How can I begin this practice in daily life? The Guru replies, start small but start sincerely. Point number one, watch your desires. Each time a desire arises, pause and examine it. Does it lead you toward peace or away from it? Point number two, practice contentment. Learn to rejoice in what you already have instead of grieving for what you lack. Number three, restrain anger. When provoked, breathe deeply before reacting. Respond with calmness, not with impulse. Point number four, meditate daily. Even a few minutes of stillness each day cleanses the mind like sunlight dispersing darkness. Point number five, serve others selflessly. When you help others, the ego dissolves and the heart expands. Point number six, keep company with the wise. The fragrance of noble company purifies your thoughts effortlessly. In time, you will notice a transformation. Desires will lose their grip, anger will fade, and peace will rise like a dawn within you. A student is asking another question. I feel as if a veil has lifted from my eyes. So, the true battle of life is not with others, but with my own mind. The Guru replies, exactly. That is why the Bhagavad Gītā was spoken, not on a physical battlefield alone, but on the battlefield of the mind. Your enemies are not outside, they are within. Ignorance, attachment, greed, and anger. When you conquer these, you become truly victorious. That is the anatomy of human descent, and also the secret of human ascent. Control the mind, and you rise to divine heights. Let the mind control you, and you descend into confusion and sorrow. A student is asking another question. What is the highest reward of such control? The Guru replies, freedom. Freedom from the slavery of desires, freedom from the tyranny of anger, freedom from the endless cycle of wanting, chasing, and regretting. Such a person lives in perfect inner contentment, joyful in all circumstances, peaceful amidst chaos, untouched by praise or blame. That is the vision of the Sthit Pragya, the man or woman of steady wisdom, whom Lord Krishna describes with such reverence. When you reach that state, the world remains the same, but your eyes see differently. The mind becomes your servant, and the soul shines as the master. When you reach that state, the world remains the same, but your eyes see differently. The mind becomes your servant, and the soul shines as the master. A student is asking another question. I bow to you. I now understand that true spirituality is not escape from life, but mastery within it. The Guru replies, well said. Guard the jewels of peace and happiness within your heart. Let not desire and anger steal them away. Be vigilant, be aware, and remember the greatest victory is the conquest of the self. Now we come to the concluding message for you. The journey of human descent begins with a single unguarded thought. The journey of human descent begins with a single unguarded thought. The journey of human ascent begins with a single moment of awareness. The journey of human ascent begins with a single moment of awareness. Therefore, control your mind, and the whole universe will serve you. Lose control of it, and even the smallest desire will enslave you. This is the timeless teaching of the Bhagavad Gītā, a call not just to faith, but to mastery, freedom, and inner joy. Hari Om.